Hello and welcome to episode 89 of Life Civilization Started Over. Let's get into it. So last episode we saw many things happen, including the continuation of the Chinese Civil War and many other things. We'll be starting in Europe today, because remember that invasion of Poland that the Polish had on Germany? On the Lithuanians? Russia's responded by declaring war on the Triangle Alliance. Yeah. So after the Polish sieged the capital, the Russians send their troops in with the Lithuanians, and the next major European war has started. It's not a world war, yeah. But the Russians will be entering their troops over into this green country in order to try to knock it out. And also, they're sending their troops over into this Greek country as well. But the Greek country is pretty powerful, so it is going to be able to make a few landings over in Turkey and is able to take over a lot of territories. The Romans are going to start their push over here, as they will be attempting to push back against the red team and the gold team. And the North Africans here are going to be making a landing in the Iberian Peninsula. And so are the Romans, as they make a landing over here on this island. Yeah. And this is what the war looks like so far. Yeah. As the Germans will be going ahead and invading into the gold team, alongside the red team, as they both will decide, you know what? We need to get this country out of the war. So basically they do, and well, this is a pretty quick defeat for them. As they lose, and the red team starts pushing into Rome a bit more. Yeah. But the Russians will be able to capture the capital of this country here, and split this country in half, as the Lithuanians will also be going down into the country and taking this northern half, and the southern half is going to be defending so far. But Lithuania is going to be able to capture the capital of Poland, and this is what the front lines look like so far. As Turkey continues to lose their troops, this alliance is going to, well, the triangles are going to be able to capture the capital of Turkey, which is pretty big for them. Yeah. But when we go over here, the Romans will be starting an invasion of the Iberian Peninsula, specifically over here, attempting to make a sort of Mediterranean empire. The Iberians will be kicking the North Africans out of here, and the North Africans will be pushing back, or just making a big naval front. As the Romans will be going ahead and capturing the capital of this golden country here, and it will quickly fall, as this is pretty big, as the Polish country will be fighting a two-front war with the Lithuanians and the Romans now, as they will both be able to almost defeat the country. Yeah. And this is what the front lines looks like so far. Russia will finally be able to defeat this country, and they will start pushing over into this area. But the Greek country is pretty powerful, so it will be able to push back against Russia, because Russia is also helping Lithuania. And, well, the North Africans are going to start another invasion of Iberia, of the Iberian Peninsula, and they are going to go pretty successfully this time, as they're going to be taking this territory. But then another alliance is going to join this war. These two countries, the Diamond Alliance, is done. They believe that they should not be. Historically, the yellow team and the blue team have a lot of rivalry with the red team. It's mostly been one-sided. Mediterranean. Yeah. So basically, the Diamond Alliance is going to decide, you know what? We don't like the triangle, so we're declaring war on them. And the yellow team, alongside the blue team, will be declaring war on the Triangle Alliance. Yeah. As the yellow team sends their troops over into the Iberian Peninsula for I don't know how many times in history. And this blue country here will be sending its troops into Greece, as they will be start pushing back and help the Turks, alongside the Russians, as they will be, well, very successful, as the Greeks are starting to lose, and they are pushed back to here. As the Line team will also be invading into the Greek country is going to attempt to stop them. But also, to Germany. Germany is a pretty big front, and the Swedish make another landing here and threaten the capital, which is pretty big. You don't want to lose your capital in a war. And they start pushing back against the Swedes, and Germany basically has its focus on Sweden, which will allow the giant Lithuanian country to go ahead and fully collapse Poland officially and start pushing into German territories. Yeah. And when we look at Rome, they will be continuing their expansions over in the Iberian Peninsula. As well, the Iberian country got freed a lot in World War V, but I guess they're falling now, as all these front lines come from the east. As the Yellow Team will be mainly invading up north in the northern areas, and will be going ahead, and the Romans will be the ones taking the capital, and they will greatly push back, and eventually we will see them surrender. The Iberians. Yep. And now, it's just Greece, the Germans, and the Red Team just left in this Triangle Alliance. As we can see with Greece, the Turkish are going to be pushing back against the Greeks even more, as they will be kicking them out of the Anatolian area, which is this area here, I think. As the Russians will be pushing back against the Greeks, and the Greeks are over, as the Romans will be doing their next invasion of Albania, and Greece is gone, as the Lion Team will go ahead and take more territories and capture the capital of Greece. And with all the front lines, Turkey will also be occupying some land. Yeah. Now it's just Germany and the Red Team left, as the Yellow Team will be pushing up in the French area and will be, well, going straight towards that capital, as the Blue Team will also be pushing up. The Romans, getting a lot more contribution in this war, will be recapturing the capital of the Old Gold Team and will be able to push back against the Red Team. As the Swedes will fully push back against the Germans, and while they reach the capital, as the Lithuanian country will also be capturing the capital with Sweden, as the Romans will be going up and capturing these regions a lot more. And the Romans own a lot more territory. And the Red Team is going to just be forced to surrender this area. Now it's just the Red Team, as the Romans will be continuing their advances over in here, and eventually the Yellow Team will capture the capital of the Red Team. And well, this will just completely force the Red Team into surrender. And that is it for the big European war, and we can look at the peace treaty. And this is what the peace treaty brings to Europe. So Iberia is divided, with the Yellow Team annexing some land, the Romans, and the North Africans, and a new country has popped up here. When we go to Rome, they're a lot bigger, having a puppet state here. Lithuania annexes a lot of land. This country still exists, so does Germany, and the Red Team. But there's a new country here that definitely isn't a similar color because of historical ties. But after that, we are going to see a collapse in these alliances. As well, there's no real purpose, because the purpose of these alliances was to go against these nations, this alliance, so there's really no purpose for it, so basically it collapses. Yeah. And basically, there's no more alliances in Europe. But Lithuania still has good ties with Russia. And a new alliance will be formed, a new square alliance from Russia, by Russia, and it's going, the only member so far is going to be Lithuania. Yeah. And the Romans are going to then form a new alliance. This one is going to be the Star Alliance. Yeah. And guess who's going to be invited to it? The North African, the North African country's still in the square team. And the countries that are going to join it are this country and this country that's color is literally the exact same. So I'll be changing that. Yeah. And also this country is going to join the New Star Alliance. And this is our new map of Europe. Time to go to China. As the Chinese Civil War is getting a lot bigger. As well, we can see that the rebels will be fully occupying the Strait of Malacca area now, and will continue their push against the Southeast Asian areas, as these countries will be invading. And this is what the front lines look like in this area, but the Chinese will be pushing back here. And this part rebellion here is also going to be pushing back. And the Orange team is also going to be pushing back a lot. And new landings are made over in the Korean Peninsula. Right here, as the peninsula is recaptured. And this rebellion is going to get the closest that they've ever been to the capital. And China is in a full-on collapse mode, as more and more areas will start breaking away from China and split the country in half. And in the southern half into halves. And well, let's just see this, as eventually the capital is taken. And well, we can see what the front lines look like as China surrenders. With the outcome of the Chinese Civil War looking something like this, the rebellions have won the Chinese Civil War, and we can officially look at the peace treaty of the Chinese Civil War, also known as the Fourth Chinese Wars. And this is the peace treaty, and China is completely divided. And let me tell you, so this is China before the Civil War, and all these territories. I probably be a bit easier to color all this in. Yeah. So basically, this is China with the slightly white red-ish areas before the Civil War, and this is them now. They're completely divided. And also Hawaii's independent. Almost forgot about that. If the Chinese Civil War is over, the world knows what's happened to China. They know that this was a good thing because of what they did to, well, cause an entire era. And the world, a couple years after, is going to finally bring an end to China. As a coalition, as this country declares war on China. This country is going into China, walking in, one of the most historic countries in history is being walked into, just like any other normal neighborhood person would walk to their park. And well, the capital of China is taken, and we can look at the peace treaty. And this is the peace treaty, and after I remove the capital, the legacy of China has ended. China is officially gone. China, after being around for so long, thousands of years, hundreds of years, finally gone. The legacy of China is over, but it'll always stay. And, well, go to another part of the world. And that other part is the Alliance layer. Does that make sense? Nope. Did I say? Yes. Am I going to keep it in the video? Oh, yes. Specifically the Economic Alliance layer, as more of these countries are going to be joining the Economic Alliance. And even this country and a bunch of these Arabian countries are all going to join this economical alliance, feeling like the world might end soon. The messages that were given from out by Alex Einstein have really shook the world. The world now believes that this might come to an end very soon. So more countries are going to be joining Brazil. All three of these countries here will be joining the Brazilian Union. And well, Brazil is a lot bigger. South America has changed. And the American Alliance, the American Economical Alliance here, is going to decide to merge with the American Alliance to merge with the Circle Economical Alliance. And now we officially have it all gone. Everybody is united. Almost every major country is united, as this country joins the Economical Alliance. And also more countries are going to decide to join, well, the Star Alliance, the Unitarian Alliance, as more of these Mexican countries will start to join the alliance. They truly do believe that the world might come to an end soon. Here's another event in these two countries here. As the world sees what's happening, these two countries are going to unite. And these two countries have a new blue color. This makes the world realize, hey, this might be serious. But then, as it seems like it might be fine, like these could just be coincidences. The world might not actually be coming to an end. When we go to the Bengal area, we see a big event happening. A meteor crashes in the Bengal region, and huge areas are flooded, and this piece here is gone. This country, seeing this, is going to decide to move its capital. They're going to move the capital to here, the newly annexed areas, in order to, well, rebuild their world. But it's not just the Bengal area. A second meteor crashes in the Djibouti area. And well, this is pretty big, but this country will still keep the area here. But it's not just here. A third one is going to crash in the Crimean Peninsula. And the world noticed this within the first day. People realize what the new map looks like. They are scared. They are officially in panic mode. And they realize that this wasn't just a coincidence. This might have been for survival. And other countries are rushing, sending applications out, preparing to survive. And then new operations are made for space. And that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of What If Civilization Started Over. See you in the next episode, which is episode 90 of What If Civilization Started Over. Bye!